So I'm going to speak to a little bit about a particular view I get of Nick for a long time now. But I'll start with the fact that we met in January 2005.
After nearly 4 decades of friendship, Russell Crowe has finally broken his silence about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. And what he's saying might completely change how you see their perfect marriage. For years, we all thought they were Hollywood's golden couple, right? But now, things are unraveling fast. From hidden separations to shocking warnings Nicole gave Keith before their rumored split. This revelation is bigger than anyone expected. Stay till the end, because it gets uncomfortably real. Come along, Russell Crowe's connection to Nicole and Keith. The bond between Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman stretches back decades, forming a foundation of trust that makes his recent revelations about her marriage to Keith Urban particularly significant. Long before either became household names, Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman forged a connection in the Australian entertainment industry. Their professional paths first crossed in the late 1980s when both were emerging talents in Australian cinema. The friendship solidified throughout the 1990s as their careers took parallel trajectories toward Hollywood stardom. Unlike many celebrity friendships that develop under the spotlight, Russell and Nicole's relationship was built during their formative years as actors. This early connection created a unique bond, one that survived the pressures of fame and the scrutiny of public attention. As fellow Australians making their mark internationally, they shared not only professional experiences, but also the challenges of maintaining their cultural identity while adapting to life in the American entertainment industry. Through every spotlight, scandal, and whispered headline, one person quietly stood by Nicole Kidman's side: Russell Crowe. When the cameras caught her smiling beside Tom Cruise, and later when they caught her heart breaking after their split, Russell was always there, the calm in her storm. Their friendship wasn't just Hollywood gossip. It was her safe place in a world that rarely lets anyone breathe. But now, after years of silence, Russell has finally decided to speak. What he just revealed about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban will leave you stunned, so stay right here till the very end. When Nicole first met Keith Urban in 2005, Russell was already an established figure in her life. Sources close to the three indicate that Russell initially played matchmaker, encouraging the relationship between the actress and the country music star. At industry events and private gatherings, Russell would often create opportunities for Nicole and Keith to spend time together, believing they might be well-suited. As the relationship between Nicole and Keith blossomed, Russell provided guidance to both parties. For Keith, Russell offered insights into Nicole's personality and past experiences. For Nicole, he served as a sounding board as she navigated her feelings after the painful end of her marriage to Tom Cruise. During their courtship phase, Russell hosted several dinners at his Australian property, where Nicole and Keith could spend time together away from prying eyes. This privacy proved crucial in allowing their relationship to develop naturally without media interference. Russell's intimate knowledge of both Nicole and Keith's personalities, combined with his long-standing friendship with Nicole, gives him a unique vantage point on their relationship. Unlike other celebrity friends who might have witnessed only the public aspects of their marriage, Russell has been privy to private moments and conversations throughout their relationship. And trust me, what came next between Nicole and Keith wasn't something anyone expected. It's the kind of moment that changes everything. So stay with me till the very end, because this confrontation will leave you speechless. Nicole's confrontation with Keith. In a shocking turn of events, details have emerged about a pivotal moment in Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's relationship that might have signaled the beginning of their troubles. At the center of these revelations stands Russell Crowe, whose insider knowledge has shed light on a confrontation that changed everything. Confidential sources indicate that Russell recently shared information about Nicole's discovery of concerning messages on Keith's phone late last year. These messages allegedly contained exchanges with a female backup vocalist from Keith's touring band. As Nicole scrolled through the conversations, she reportedly found messages suggesting meetings that occurred during times Keith had claimed to be working late in recording studios. Russell purportedly described how Nicole had confided in him after finding these messages, seeking advice from someone who knew both her and Keith well. His account suggests that Nicole was particularly disturbed by the timing of these messages. They coincided with her intense filming schedule for an upcoming dramatic role, leaving her feeling especially vulnerable. Moreover, Russell allegedly disclosed that this wasn't the first time Nicole had harbored suspicions. Rather, it represented a breaking point after years of dismissing her intuition about Keith's behavior while on tour. Following this discovery, Nicole's behavior reportedly shifted in subtle yet noticeable ways. At public events, observers noted her increasingly protective body language around Keith, maintaining physical contact as if ensuring he remained by her side. In contrast to her typically warm demeanor in interviews, she became more guarded whenever questions veered toward their relationship. Russell's revelations suggest that Nicole began monitoring social media accounts connected to Keith's tour, looking for inconsistencies in his stories about his whereabouts. Friends close to the actress noted her growing tendency to make surprise appearances at his concerts, actions that might have appeared supportive to outsiders, yet served a different purpose. Even more telling were the emotional cues that manifested in Nicole's professional life. Directors working with her noted unexpected emotional fragility during scenes that touched on themes of betrayal or abandonment, moments that required little acting on her part. The actual confrontation between Nicole and Keith reportedly occurred in December, following a holiday party where Keith had spent much of the evening engrossed in his phone. Upon returning home, Nicole allegedly asked directly about his secretive communications. What began as a simple question escalated into a 4-hour conversation that stretched until dawn. Throughout this exchange, Nicole presented Keith with specific evidence she had gathered over months, not just messages, yet additionally discrepancies in his travel stories and unexplained expenses. By morning, Nicole had issued what friends describe as her final warning: complete transparency or separation. Keith allegedly promised changes, including reduced touring schedules and couples therapy. For several months afterward, they appeared to be working through their issues, even renewing their vows in an intimate ceremony. However, this reconciliation proved temporary, as Russell's revelations suggest Keith returned to concerning patterns by summer, ultimately leading to their current situation. Signs the marriage was falling apart. Behind the glamorous facade of one of Hollywood's most celebrated couples, multiple signs indicated that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's marriage was slowly unraveling long before their official separation. First and foremost, Keith's demanding tour schedule created a significant physical barrier between the couple. The country music star spent approximately 200 days per year on the road, effectively living apart from his family for over half of each year. As time went on, this separation took an emotional toll that became increasingly difficult to overcome. In a surprisingly candid pre-recorded interview for his new competition show, The Road, Keith revealed the harsh realities of his touring lifestyle. When you wake up on a tour bus at 3:30 in the morning and you're sick as a dog, and you miss your friends, and you're missing your family, and you're completely lonely and miserable and sick, and you say to yourself, "Why am I doing this?" Sources close to the couple confirmed they had been spending less and less time together, which resulted in a major loss of intimacy. Indeed, one insider revealed that Keith started pulling away several years ago, and they've been on a distant and downhill trajectory ever since. Beyond physical distance, emotional withdrawal became evident in Keith's behavior. During a July appearance on Ryan Seacrest's radio show, Urban appeared visibly uncomfortable when questioned about Nicole's career. Similarly, he abruptly ended an Australian radio interview when pressed about Kidman's content. Perhaps the most telling sign came during a performance of The Fighter. a song originally inspired by Nicole. Urban changed the lyrics from "When they're trying to get to you, baby, I'll be the fighter," to reference his touring guitarist Maggie Baugh instead. This substitution raised eyebrows among observant fans. Behind closed doors, sources reported that Nicole had been trying to get them to work on their marriage and did not want this to get out to the public. Unfortunately, an insider explained that her trust was lost, and it was too far gone. The couple's carefully maintained public image began showing cracks upon closer inspection. Although they attended a FIFA match together on June 20th, observers noted they looked rather uncomfortable with one another, a stark contrast to their typically affectionate demeanor. On their 19th wedding anniversary in June, Nicole posted a loving tribute on Instagram, "Happy anniversary, baby," at Keith Urban. Nevertheless, Keith's response was merely a red heart emoji comment, a noticeably subdued acknowledgement. Gradually, Nicole's absence became conspicuous at Keith's concerts, despite historically being a firm fixture at Keith's shows. Consequently, rumors intensified that the couple were moving in two different directions, and their worlds are not overlapping as much as they once did. Ultimately, what appeared to be a strong marriage to the public eye had reportedly concluded many months ago, with the couple maintaining privacy while they formalized logistics and figured out how to divvy everything up. They were simply waiting, keeping things private, while they quietly untangled their lives. But then came the twist no one saw coming. Russell finally spoke, and what he revealed changed everything. So, stay with me till the end, because this part, it's where the truth finally hits. Why Russell broke his silence. After years of keeping quiet about his friends' personal lives, Russell Crowe's sudden choice to speak openly about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's marriage took many by surprise. People couldn't help but wonder why someone as private as Russell would break his silence now. What changed? What was strong enough to make him step into something so sensitive and public? It wasn't just idle gossip, though. Those close to the situation said his decision came from a very personal place, one rooted in loyalty, protection, and timing. From what people around him shared, Russell's main reason seemed to revolve around protecting Nicole's reputation. As news about her divorce continued to spread, it became clear to him that the story was starting to tilt unfairly in one direction. Some reports were painting Nicole as the cold, distant wife who walked away from a loving husband. But was that really fair? Those who knew Russell said he couldn't just stand by and watch that happen. Having seen the way the media can twist a story overnight, he reportedly felt the urge to step in before the damage became permanent. He had been on the receiving end of harsh headlines himself and knew how fast public sympathy could disappear. So when people asked why he would involve himself at all, it made sense that his instinct to protect an old friend outweighed his usual habit of staying out of private matters. After all, how many of us would really stay silent if someone we cared about was being misunderstood so publicly? But beyond loyalty, there was another layer to it. Russell's comments didn't just defend Nicole. They changed the entire direction of the story. Before he spoke, many believed Keith was the heartbroken husband, and Nicole the one who simply moved on. But after Russell's words surfaced, the narrative shifted. Suddenly, people began seeing Nicole as the one who had been patient, forgiving, and perhaps even betrayed. It was as if he had flipped a switch, and in doing so, changed what everyone thought they knew. Observers said his timing was no coincidence either. With the legal proceedings still ongoing, this was a crucial moment when public opinion could influence how everything played out. If rumors had continued unchallenged, they could have hardened into something that looked like truth. Russell's decision to step forward might have been his way of balancing the scale, ensuring that both sides of the story were heard before assumptions settled in stone. Those close to the Hollywood circle said the weight of Russell's decision became even clearer when viewed against what many call the celebrity code of silence. In that world, friends don't speak about other friends' relationships. Not in interviews, not in passing, not ever. It's almost an unspoken law, built on mutual understanding and trust. And Russell, known for being fiercely loyal, rarely ever broke that rule. He had spent most of his career avoiding the drama that came with celebrity gossip. Even when people tried to bait him into talking about controversial moments, he usually refused. The last time he truly opened up about something personal was nearly 2 decades after his infamous 2005 phone-throwing incident. When he finally did, he said something that revealed how he sees life. "I am a fan of regret. I see it as a great teacher." That one line said a lot about the kind of man he is: reflective, deliberate, and careful about when to speak and when to hold back. So, in this case, it seems he didn't speak recklessly or to grab attention. If anything, his decision to share what he did about Nicole and Keith's situation looked calculated, even purposeful. Maybe he saw truth being buried under layers of speculation and decided it was time someone brought a little clarity. Some Hollywood insiders even suggested that Russell was acting as a kind of messenger, saying aloud the things Nicole couldn't say herself while tied up in legal procedures. After all, wasn't it possible that she wanted her side heard but couldn't risk saying it publicly? It's a tactic as old as fame itself. When the spotlight burns too bright, you don't speak directly. You let a friend whisper for you. It's quiet, clever, and calculated. The kind of move stars pull when they're desperate to control the story before it controls them. And whether Russell meant to stir chaos or simply save face, one thing's undeniable. His decision cracked open Hollywood's polished facade in a way no one saw coming. But that was just the beginning. Because what followed next would change everything. The aftermath. The news of Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's divorce spread quickly. But what surprised everyone most was how quietly and efficiently it all happened. Unlike the usual Hollywood chaos that follows celebrity breakups, there were no loud arguments, no cryptic social media posts, and no court battles dragged across tabloid covers. Everything seemed to unfold with calm precision, almost as if it had been rehearsed. People who had followed their love story for years couldn't help but wonder, how could a couple that once looked inseparable part ways so silently? Those who knew them said it felt strange, almost eerie, how something that emotional could be handled so methodically behind the scenes. Court documents later revealed that Nicole had filed for divorce in Davidson County, Tennessee, on September 30, citing the classic phrase, irreconcilable differences. But the real twist came from what the paperwork showed next. It turned out that both Nicole and Keith had quietly prepared for this split months in advance. Keith had signed their settlement agreement on August 29th, and Nicole followed just a week later on September 6th. It was as if they had decided to take care of every legal and financial detail before anyone even knew trouble was brewing. Was this careful planning a sign of maturity, or did it show how long the emotional distance had already been growing? Either way, the timing made it clear they wanted to avoid the circus that usually follows celebrity divorces. Every signature and decision seemed designed to protect their privacy, even if that meant pretending everything was fine in public, while their marriage had already ended behind closed doors. The details of their agreement painted a picture of two people determined to keep things clean and uncomplicated. Nicole was granted primary custody of their teenage daughters for 306 days a year, leaving Keith just 59 days. It was a tough number for anyone who knew how devoted he had always been to his family. Still, there was no public fight about it, no dispute over who deserved more time. It was all set out neatly, almost too neatly. Both of them had reported monthly incomes of over $100,000, so neither would be paying alimony or spousal support. Interestingly, Keith had already prepaid his child support obligations, a rare move, especially in high-profile divorces. It was as though he wanted to ensure there would be no future conflicts, no reason to revisit this painful chapter. They had also maintained separate bank accounts and property ownership throughout their marriage, which made the financial split easier. Many people who read the settlement later wondered, had they been preparing for this from the start? Or had fame simply taught them to keep their lives compartmentalized, even in love? As the news began to circulate, the reactions from fans and the media couldn't have been more different. Some people expressed shock and sadness, remembering how openly the couple had once spoken about their love and faith in each other. Others claimed they had seen it coming, pointing to Keith's long tours and Nicole's demanding filming schedule. Sources close to Nicole said she was hurt and feeling betrayed, though she continued showing up for work and carrying herself with quiet strength. Her focus seemed to be on moving forward, keeping busy, and staying professional. Meanwhile, reports suggested that Keith was taking it much harder. He had canceled a number of appearances and was said to be avoiding the press altogether. People close to him described him as embarrassed and tired of being painted as the bad guy. Was he avoiding the spotlight out of guilt, or simply because he couldn't bear the endless questions? No one knew for sure, but the silence on his end only fueled speculation. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.